Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy, the host, Hardy Boy, coming to you with another Two Fingers podcast episode. We got a special treat for you all. We have an event coming up February 26th. So we look forward to you all to come out to our spoken word open mic poetry night. We have a very special feature. I didn't want to go to the show and have you guys introduce him there. So I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek, a snippet of who he is. We're gonna dive into him a little bit more personally about who he is, what he does, and how he became passionate about it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to JP, otherwise known as AloneatiQ. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I greatly appreciate this opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one thing I want to say is, much like any other poets, and you've been around the DMV, we're really good. This is what we do, basically. I really wanted to bring you on a platform where you can sell yourself, talk about yourself, get you a little bit more exposure. Not only just to people who listen to poetry, just anybody. You know what I'm saying? We're always looking to spread the culture a little bit further outside of the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, for some of you guys who don't know that and listen to us, but just to spread us out a little bit further. So just tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself, and kind of go into that for me real quick.
All right, absolutely. So, yeah, so I was raised in North Carolina. We moved around quite a bit, but yeah, high school years was North Carolina. I've lived in Maryland since summer of 2016,
Okay.
and then been up up in the northern part of Maryland since like 2 years ago. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Um, Another so as far as spoken word, I've been first time I was on a stage and performed an open mic was actually 2010, so over 10 years ago.
Okay.
Um,
So you got a decade in the game.
Definitely. Yeah, right. I've been. It's like it's a weird space. I'm like, I've been here for a minute and still newish because, man, I'm sorry.
Bless you, man. It's all good.
All right. Is I've been around for a minute, but also like so some of those early years would be like one or two, three times a year,
Mm-hmm.
things here and there, but like more consistently has actually been since the quarantine,
Got it.
actually.
So you had time to, hone in on your skill and touch it up a little bit. That's been a, a common thing lately, especially with a lot of
Mm,
people I brought on the show. I know you're familiar with, Orville, the
yes.
glowing poet, Sir Harvey Fitz. Again, these are other poets that you guys have seen in our previous shows and our events that
Right.
we held. This is just another guy from the area who knows a lot about them. So, they touched on that too, how COVID, it was a way of forcing you to kind of get back to what you do and kind of hone that in and really make that a craft of yours. So with that being said, so we talk about poetry and stuff like that. So what got you into it? Like, what was your inspiration? Did anyone touch you on that? Like, how'd you get into poetry, spoken word?
Yeah, 100%. Def Jam poetry.
That'll do
That
it.
that that did a lot for me. That's one that I definitely remember was a big factor. I feel like I was probably late years in high school, maybe the first year in college, when that really was prominent. I could easily find that on HBO and all that. But like
Mm-hmm.
I think what besides being accessible and getting TV exposure, like it was people I wasn't really familiar with, but like were really amazing. But then near the end of the show, you would have a DMX, a Kanye, Erica Badu was up there,
Mm-hmm.
like I think Samuel Jackson was up, so it's like it was a really well put together show that had talent all night, but then also gave you those celebrities to, just because, we need little stuff like that, just to bring people's eyes over. And then once you see what's up, give spoken word a shot. Typically people come out like, oh, I didn't even know we had all this, especially out in DMV area.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, much like you, I got into it before, but definitely, Def Jam Poetry and, Russell Simmons, when they came out with that whole, competition where high school kids from all over the country were coming in and competing on that show and stuff. It was definitely next level, especially on HBO. So HBO had a very niche market when they were doing that. Um,
Right.
so cool. So now that we understand your inspiration and what gets you into that, can we talk a little bit about, your style? Like how do you go about it? Like, what's your style? You got a certain cadence, what's your flair to it?
Yeah. I always It's always fun to answer this question and kind of think about it. So like so besides Def Jam part. I think the reason that drew me there is I've been a hip hop head, all my life
Hmm.
too. So just in that, like, music wise, I'm one of them, boom bap type. Shout out, Knife Wonder, Jay Dilla,
Okay.
these, that realm or whatever. So then, as far as lyrically, I like, I like to hear something. And that doesn't mean, like, there are people who have put out a pop record, a party record, and they still has some fire line. So I don't really consider myself on that snob, type list. I give anybody, a chance if they talking about something. So with all that being said, my style, I like to do something with where I like to do something with wordplay. I like to have entendres. I like to be, have some complexity, and then find the people, my tribe that was like, no, I heard what you, I heard that. I
Yeah.
got you on that one. You know what I'm saying? So that's always been me. But like at the same time, I knew that that's not everybody, that's not for everybody. And I'm not,
Hmm.
and it don't have to be. So what I ended up eventually finding out, I don't even know when it happened, but I started finding a way to integrate in a 3 to 5 minute piece. There's going to be a one liner that pretty much, is very straightforward. It's like
Hmm.
very blunt, and it's like, okay, I got that one. There's going to be some pop culture reference from now or the 90s. There's going to be, I'm going to say something that makes a good point along the way, like some kind of social commentary, and you're all of that is going to be available in one of those same pieces, so that there's a possibility for everybody to get something out of
Right.
some piece
Got
of
it.
that poem. The thing that's also interesting that I've just come to be, that's just me getting comfortable with who I am, is I very much there might be some part of that same poem that pisses somebody else off. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yep.
okay with that. Like, that's what I'm not gonna be, is a pop artist. Let me not say nothing controversial, like spoken word.
Right. Sensei.
That this artist for that. We need to talk about the issues that everybody else ain't really always covering.
And I think, that's one thing about this podcast that we do, is the idea of being comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think,
Yeah,
like you said, spoken word, and even if you go as far as, comedians, those are the last two arts, with a little bit of, artists and stuff in the museums. But,
yeah,
last few things that you can, especially nowadays, that you can talk about directly, straightforward. And yeah, it might piss some people off, but you're still within the realm, that lane of understanding that, but this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We're here to
absolutely.
challenge the barriers, constantly chasing finish lines that are getting pushed away. So, it's always about closing that gap. So yeah, I mean, I love that. And like I said, that's one of my favorite things about you. That's when, I definitely saw you, at the Pure Poetry Lives, Bus Boys and Poets. Again, these are things DMV does. So if you guys are really interested in it, please go check it out. Pure Poetry Live, Bus Boys and Poets. Those are all over the DC and Maryland, Virginia. And, those things inspired me to want to host an event and bring that a little bit further out into Virginia. So, with that being said, your cadence is very unique, and your wordplay is probably your biggest strength. That's probably one thing that gets to me, is because, I consider myself more of a flowic kind of poet. Like, I don't really just do things. I could do things over music, or I do things with a visual.
Right.
That way there's a concept that you can grasp. But your wordplay by far is one of my favorite. Like,
I
I love it.
appreciate
I
it.
always retweet everything or repost or like anything you do. So, like I said, anyone who I brought on the show has had some influence and inspiration to me. So, with that being said, I guess continuing on, with your art, what
Mhm.
is it that you want people to get from it? Like, are you looking to inspire people? Like, what is it that you're always aiming for when you get out on that stage behind the mic, or when you're just riding in your pad?
Right, right. Okay. Also good question. So I'm so glad you said, I didn't want to jump in, but I should have, but comedians 100% are inspiration. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge comedy fan. I learned a little while ago that, like, these are people who have some very, some difficult lives, some painful experiences, and they've taken time to flip that around and entertain the populace while also having a message. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, a lot of the greater, my favorite comedian, Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal, like, these are, if you just at the surface level, I can't believe he said this, I can't believe he said that. But when you go deeper, like, oh wow, he really said this and he really said that, So I've come to appreciate those type of poets, and I'm sorry, those those type of what
Comedians, yeah.
funny poets or whatever, but
Right.
comedians, and that is also what where I come from. So that's kind of the answer to the question. Like I I'm definitely subscribed to there's nothing new under the sun. So like at the root of everything, what this poem or that poem is talking about is something somebody else has talked about before. They just
Mm-hmm.
haven't done it the exact way I did. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put this with that, you know what I'm saying, in this order with this, with this wordplay. So I still want to
Okay.
have eventually, and maybe whether it's the first time or the eighth time, somebody's going to listen to, some of my work and say, oh, that was a good point about whatever, from the most profound to, to people get on my nerves and I need to tell them something about this. So like sometimes we gotta have that conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want. I also like I what I really love, and so the DMV audience, Philly, Voice and Power, big
Yeah.
fan, and even home base over in Phoenix, which is where I got my start. Like
Okay.
these audiences are brilliant. Like if I okay, in 200 people, I might write over the heads of 150, but I've never confused the whole room.
Mm.
It's some pots like these people
Mm-hmm.
are up there with me, and it's fun to do that. It's fun to write up and just catch, whoever got that one caught it. But then coming to what you said and how, like what your specialty is and other people's specialty, I've also come to, you know, appreciate and even be inspired by a good storyteller, a good I'm a rhyme AB pattern the entire poem. That's very impressive. That's not that's
Not
not easy
easy.
to do at
It's
all.
not.
Yeah, so it's like all these different things that I didn't already have. I'm so quick to credit the next person, build and learn from that person. So I think one of the things that really helped me and take off in the last 2 years is really working on delivery and stage presence. Because I've definitely had bars 10 years ago and I was just standing still looking at my
Mm-hmm.
phone. It's not very entertaining. It's not
Right.
as digestible. So it's like, they're definitely becoming a student in the game has done wonders for me. Um, does nothing for me to be a hater, man. Like there's too much we could all eat. So instead of,
Yeah.
being worried of competing, like I'm like, no, salute to everybody else and shout out. And then when I do pick up on something, you can probably ask me where I got that from. I'll tell you. I don't,
Oh yeah. No, no, no. I
you
got you,
know.
bro. And you're right. Like, and I think, that's again, like I said, you, Orville, or Glowing Poet, Sir Harvey,
Yeah.
TKR's, Dollar at the like all y'all have
Right.
inspired me to want, because we have this, especially here, we have this culture of, DC is kind of like the Mecca, right? The chocolate city. But I'm
Right.
looking, I want everyone to eat, like you said. So I'm trying to expand it. Like
I like that.
we can grow this out to Virginia, Maryland. We can stretch this. We already out in Philly, and we go out to Philly 2 hours. Like it's nothing just to be there
Right.
down the street trying to get in that line, man. But
Right.
and you're right. Like everybody could eat, and it's too much love out here, too many words. And you're right. Everyone's intelligent, man. That's one of the coolest things about going to these events when we go out there is like the vibes are immaculate, man. It's like you feel the energy, and no one's really like you don't ever get a boo because it's such a judge free zone. Because it's
Right.
like getting on the stage, period, is bravery in itself. About half the people that go to these shows don't even get on the stage. So,
Right.
getting on that stage and, speaking your truth and speaking your soul is something real. So, I'm not gonna hold you too much longer. Got one last question for you, big bro. What do you see yourself, I guess, in the future down the line? Like, what are you looking for in your near future, and what legacy are you trying to leave behind while doing this? This may not be your 9 to 5 or your pro thing, but
Right.
if it is, man, what is it that you want us to remember or to get from you when it's all said and done for you?
Right. Now, another, all these questions are fire. Like, so it probably, I absolutely know it can, as man, I just, we get to I know we're going to get to it. Like, shout out to this man, follow him. But, if you choose to follow me, that'll be the best place for me to shout out this person and that person, this event
Mm-hmm.
venue. Cause I promise you, if I give props to everybody just in DMV alone, this would be like an hour and a half podcast. There's
It
so
could
much
be. No, you're not
talent,
lying.
you know what I mean? But like all that to say, shout out to Backpack Jeff because he has been, somebody I've entrusted in the recent, time to kind of really just help build what I'm doing in general as an entrepreneur, but specifically with poetry. Like him and others have made it very clear that I could make a living out of this. Like not that I didn't know that, but I could. The politics and the non-performing piece is what's going to keep me because I don't want to turn a passion into work, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But so basically, this will just continue to be the the hobby that I really pour into,
Mm-hmm.
the thing I do on the side that I actually am, really talented on. And that's where I see in the near future. I don't, but to be able to, if I get the opportunities to start like traveling or while I'm out here for whatever, for what I do, for what I do on a day-to-day basis, oh, let me also, let me pop in here, maybe get a feature there and all that type of stuff. Like this is very integral um, to me. So it always will have a space in my, place in my heart. So, where I see in the future is just to continue to tell my stories, how I feel like when it's just this has been touched on, but not the way I want to, not the way I want to address it. Like I've had a couple young ladies reach out and we're working on collaborative poems. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dope way to, kind of help promote somebody else, but rather, it's just another style, another a way to tell a story. So, but ultimately, when you mentioned Chaos and Doll and a glowing poet, I want to shout out Steph Marie Coleman and her the Artist Network. And so she's doing what I probably could see myself. We've talked about this before in the future, which is bigging up the platform as a whole. And so she has her influence that'll usually get people talking to her. And she's got the capabilities and abilities to network and also, get business going. But then
Mm-hmm.
she'll set that up for the artists who that's not their forte, that's not even their interest. But we know they have the talent to be in these spaces, like how you're giving me this, opportunity next week. Like get more of those artists out there to show the same, talent that no people didn't know they had. And then they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, like this person is
Exactly.
amazing. He's like 20 minutes away from me. You know what I mean? So that eventually I'm gonna, want to really get other people going. I'm pushing for I'm gonna turn 40 this year. Like I don't really have an interest of full-time traveling. I don't I'm lazy. I'm gonna want to sleep at some point and not do a 40 city tour. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I think that more or less is kind of, what I, answer that question.
That's real, man. And that's love. Like you said, like it is what it is. And I think the what I like the most about what you're saying is don't turn the passion into work, man. And that's,
Yeah.
you know, there's a difference between grinding for your passion and then, turning it into work. And that's it right there. Cause once it becomes work, then it's like routine and it's like, the light is starting to like the fire is just
Yeah.
like it's like you just do it because it's a means to an end now. Like you just
Right.
you got to work. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
and we don't want to ever turn it into that. So we appreciate that. Quick. So I know you shouted out real quick, but I know I'm gonna hit you with it because I just got to throw it in there,
Oh,
throw a
good.
dog about your top three right now. I'll give you five. Your top five lyricists of all time. Like who are your top
Ooh.
five lyricists?
Okay. So this is just
It's just your
spoken
your top
word,
five. I'm
rap.
not looking. I'm not looking for no Mount
Okay.
Rushmore. I ain't looking to get
Right.
nobody else's opinion. I want
Right.
yours solely, man.
Okay. So the only thing I'm getting clarification, like no matter what genre, so like
No,
battle
no, no,
rap,
no, no,
regular rap. Okay.
no. It don't matter.
Okay. Okay, cool. So regardless of order, I'm gonna put Rum Nitty up there because that dude is
Okay.
amazing from the battle rap scene. Like the ability to the words that the concept that he put together is crazy. Um, Shout out Truth Be Told out of Saginaw, now living in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a few people like this, but this is somebody who he featured at home base however many years ago. This is somebody I heard one time and just immediately, yeah, like this is that dude. And since then we, at this point in 2023, we now have like that's my brother, and that's so humbling. You know what I mean? Because like I know I'm talented, but some of these people are like out of earth, out there, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, man, to really be like rocking with me, I appreciate that. Um, a couple of rappers, Jay-Z is phenomenal to me. The crazy thing about him is I was not a fan when he started because what I heard was all the pop songs, all the
Right.
radio verse songs. Blueprint was when I heard track one to track, track whatever, and he even like Renegade, he talked about, it's like, and what else did he? Skill Soul, Truth Be Told, that was a moment of clarity. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
talked about, like, nah, I dumbed down because that's how I was getting my money. But
Right.
when we really want to, like, Reasonable Doubt is an amazing, piece of art. Been a Nas fan forever, so he goes on there.
Illmatic, got you.
Um, and yeah, hometown bias, Fonte Coleman, little brother. That's
Okay.
yeah, big like that. I'm one of the biggest one of the biggest stands of bro or whatever. So I mean, yeah, five we could go to about 25, but like
Yeah,
five, those
I
are the
believe
ones
it.
that stood out.
I believe that. I believe that. All right, man. Well, we thank you for joining the show today. I know you got other things to do, and we're gonna get to that. Again, we are so looking forward for you to come to the show. It's out here, DMV Breakers. For those of you all who have not seen it, you can go to our website, twofingersdeuces.com, and you'll see all of our podcasts, our platforms, and our events listed there that we got coming up. Again, I got AloneatiQ. He's gonna be our featured poet, our featured artist for the night. My boy DJ Foggy Glasses will be holding down the vibe. So, much like the last time, we got y'all good. Again, you guys can come out there. It's gonna be club style. So there's gonna be drinks. We're gonna have some food. We're gonna have a good time, man. And it's just an opportunity for anyone to come out and speak your soul, express yourself, and show your talent to the DMV. That's all we're trying to do is just get more exposure out here. All right. So AloneatiQ, if you could real quick before we go, just drop all your socials. I'm gonna link them to the page anyways, but just drop them down so
Right.
people can follow you somewhere.
Absolutely. It's primarily is Instagram. So AloneatiQ is ALONEATIQ. I do have a TikTok. I don't really be doing nothing with it. So
I feel that.
let's just start with Instagram, and whatever eventually branches out as more
Mhm.
like my, other projects come out, it'll always stem from there. But yeah, big shout out, salute the Breakers. They've even been active. Obviously you have a good relationship with them, but they've even showed love on the post real quick. Another salute to Breakers because they had that. I'm so honored to be for you to give me the opportunity to rock at the same stage that
Mhm.
URL just had an event.
Yep.
That's so crazy to me.
Yep.
Like and we was talking about like if I if I wasn't like I had a feature that Sunday, so salute to Post for Dinner. I appreciate that. But like man, if my schedule was free, I've been right up there watching them. So really excited to to do my part on that. And so I just again, a lunatic over here, but follow this man, Breakers. And I really, if you haven't been to a show, like again, this is a whole beautiful venue over there. We've been there before. Again, Sir Harvey, Galore Poet, and
Mhm. Orville.
Orville. Big salute to all of them. Um, they did an amazing job last year, and so it's just a dope environment. And so for people to keep saying, "Oh, there's nothing to do," or to keep doing the same thing all the time, like let this be the good switch up for the
Yep.
ladies and the fellas. Like, come on out. I one thing if I promise you, I will do my best to entertain you. I don't know who's
Right.
all gonna like it or not. I just know I'm
Right.
not mailing nothing in Sunday.
That's
You
all you
can
could do.
promise.
All right.
I
We well,
promise
we,
you.
well, we appreciate you, Aloneatiq. Like you said, for those of you guys who haven't been out, we're just hosting another one. So, just keep it real. We're gonna keep it light. Like I said, your host, your MC. I might slide in a couple poems in there just to keep the things good. But like I said, it's open to everyone. Please come out, showcase your talent, and at the least, just come out and support. That's all we
Yeah.
really want out here is just support and love for all these artists that are around. With that being said, Aloneatiq, we're blessed and gracious to have you on the show. Can't wait to see you perform, man. I know you packing some fire. I don't want to hear it yet. I don't want no snippets. I want it world premiere right there at the mic. So
There it is.
again, thank you for giving me the time to interview you and coming on the show, man. We truly appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate you.
All right. And with that, we out, baby. Two fingers. Hey everybody, it's the Kid Hardy Boy, aka Lamar Hardy, one of the Two Fingers hosts. If you could, please support the channel by leaving a like on the video that you just watched. Also, if you like what we do and want to support us even further, please hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell as well so you can be up to date with more videos, more episodes, and more things that we're going on. If you want more information about us here at Two Fingers, you can visit our website at twofingersdeuces.com. Peace.